I'd like to call this Upper Mount Bethel Supervisors Meeting to order. The time is 7 o'clock.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on my far left, starting off the table, is Mr. Graziano, the Township Manager. Then we have Supervisor Albert, we have Supervisor Friedman, I'm Supervisor Erler, this is Supervisor Ekman, we have Ms. Beck, our Secretary, Mr. Karasak, our Solicitor, and Mr. Coyle, our Engineer. Have all supervisors seen the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make one amendment to the agenda. I'd like to move executive session, that is number 11 up to number 8, right after financials.
Are there any other, is there any other movement on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, starting it off with the executive session announcement. On May 5th, from 7:30 to 8:29, the Board of Supervisors convened for an executive session. This executive session was to go over legal strategy pertaining to 609 Orchard Road. Mr. Karasak, if you'd like to speak anything else?
No, we also talked, again, about the Stein case a bit, and we talked about the lawsuit that had been filed either by or against the authority, and we also talked about some personnel matters, and that's what my notes reflect.
Okay. Move right to announcements. Mr. Albert, are there any announcements?
Sorry, the only announcement that I have is, I wasn't here the last meeting, we were away, but in the meantime, I did meet with representatives from Mount Bethel Fire Company and North Bangor Fire Company to work on the tax credit. I'm finalizing the wording so that I can meet again with them soon, have them review everything, and then we can send it over to Mr. Karasak so he can look at it and we can present it to the board.
Is that for the members?
Yes, that's for the members of the fire.
Have you heard anything back from whether it's going to be reciprocal?
We didn't get that, but that's what we're planning.
Okay. Supervisor Freeman, do you have any announcements?
Not at this time, Mr. Chair.
Supervisor Ekman, do you have any announcements?
Just a reminder for 4th of July, you can go, any vendor looking to sign up, you can go to our website, go under Parks and Rec, and follow that to sign up for and pay the fee for the 4th of July.
Great. Ms. Beck, do you have any announcements? Mr. Graziano, do you have any announcements?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chair. Yeah, well, listen. Just want to remind everybody, still people don't understand the bulk the process. It's every other Friday, and you need to call Republic. If you have an issue, always call us, Cindy or I, and we can make a phone call for you. But the phone number is 484-273-3940. Call them, they'll ask you what you have. If it's a mattress, make sure it's covered, but it's every other week. I'll just keep emphasizing, because a lot of people put stuff out, and it's out for 2 weeks, and they went away and won't pick it up.
So I'm sure they call before noon Thursday.
Yeah, you need to call at least by Thursday noon, for that Friday, otherwise you might miss the list to get picked up. Thanks, Cindy. Today we have a new, streaming, we're streaming on Facebook, but we also are streaming on YouTube today, so if you guys that are listening at home, if you wanna try looking at YouTube, I just went on there and there's nobody on there but me, so I flipped back to Facebook. But we are on YouTube. And the YouTube is www.youtube.com/@UMBT-meetings with an S at the end. I'll repeat that again, it's www.youtube.com/@UMBT-meetings, or dash, whatever you prefer. I want to update the Board of Supervisors. As mentioned a few times in our meetings, it's been an ongoing conversation. They tasked me with trying to get funding and help for our lower income individuals that live in our community and our seniors, disabled, single moms, what have you, people that are in need with United Way. We finally came to an agreement with United Way, Upper Mount Bethel, and the Slater Family Network. The three of us are combined, and actually, Ron, I actually put a contract in there for you.
Yeah, I saw it,
Thank
and I
you.
saw your email earlier today.
Okay, thank you. So we have a contract that our solicitor will be looking at. Basically, it's money that is gonna be funded by our Homes account. The Homes account was a good program, but it ended after COVID, and we have about $32,000 sitting in that account. So that money is gonna, 30,000 of that is gonna start the program. It'll be a fund just for Upper Mount Bethel Township, for our residents in our community. There will be a way for people to contribute to the United Way through your payroll donations, just straight up donations, but all that money will stay in Upper Mount Bethel Township. How the program's gonna work is, obviously, someone will contact us at the township and the need base. God forbid, we just had a fire recently. We'll provide funding for people that have disasters, flooding, what have you. And that would not be based on a need base. That would be based because of an unfortunate circumstance for anybody in our community. They need housing. Typically, a lot of people that own homes, that own them outright, they don't have insurance, whatever, rental insurance, people don't have rental insurance. Red Cross will only give you maybe 2 or 3 days, and then after that, you're on your own. So we want to try to help our community. We're finding all these things out, and we're trying to help our community as a whole to keep everybody safe and sound. And how it's going to work is Upper Mount Bethel is going to fund the program with United Way. United Way will be in charge of the funds. They will administer the funds, and the Slater Family Network will actually do the qualifying. So we do not get involved with interviewing the resident. We don't get involved with social security numbers, your salaries, or anything like that. That's not our purview. We don't do anything like that, and I don't want to expose our township for having those kind of documents on our township. That will go through Slater. They have the means to do that. They're qualified to do that. They will take care of that, and if they do qualify, they will contact us, and then we will call United Way and let them know that the money can be distributed. All the supervisors, I sent the MOA that I'd sent to Ron, so all that stipulates that inside in that information. But I just wanted to let everybody know in the community about it, that it finally has come to fruition. And if anybody's got any questions, I don't know if you have any questions. I know it's just announcements, but I wanted to make sure that everybody knew. I think that's it. Anything else, Cindy? I don't remember. That's enough?
Did you wanna speak to the summertime hours at the municipal building?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's posted online, we're on our summertime hours now, we started last week. We're Monday through Friday from 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Thursday. We should have Cindy do it, so me. Monday through, Thursday from, 6 to 4 o'clock. The holidays, which is Memorial Day, and July 4th, we will be on a 4-day work, regular 8-hour schedule, simply because of the holiday that week will be Memorial Day week and July 4th, and then it will end in Labor Day when we're gonna be back to regular 5-day work week, 8 hours. I think that was it. Is there anything else?
Unless you wanna speak to the recycling event since John's not here.
Recycling is on the 23rd, right? Yeah.
26th.
23rd.
23rd.
23rd, yeah. Supervisor Birmingham is gonna be holding a, recycling event. It's open to the public, it's not just Upper Mount Bethel. It is on the 23rd. Electronics, any electronics, bring it to the, I don't even know what the hours were. 9 to 12. 9 to 12 on Saturday, the 23rd at the Township building. And you gotta help me with the
And
calls.
all proceeds are going to go to the United Mitochondrial Disease Fund.
Thank you.
Did I say that correctly? All right. Okay, and for my own announcements, it's just to remind everyone that the Chairs to the Table is May 18th here in this building. It is open to the public. That's where all the committee chairs and vice chairs will get together and we'll discuss anything current or relevant. And to try and get some cooperation and the committees working with each other. Okay, now I think we can move to public comment. For anyone wishing to utilize the public comment, please state your name and whether or not you're a township resident. There will be 3 minutes time kept by Mr. Graziano. Would anyone like to say anything for public comment? Mr. Ball.
Good evening, Charles Baltic, and I am a resident. Glad to hear about the summer hours because that means Kelly's must be open or opening soon. I wanted to speak about the county council meeting that I went to last Thursday because it related to the LERTA that the county council passed in the past to benefit Upper Mount Bethel for economic redevelopment. And the county council had on their agenda a discussion of that to rescind it. And it's very curious that that came out of nowhere to be discussed, to be rescinded in the context of another economic development matter that they were debating, which was the Dixie factory TIF. So I spoke to bring attention to this and say that it seemed very unusual that they'd bring this up out of nowhere without any rationale or justification. It seemed like it might be retribution against Upper Mount Bethel for some reason, to be determined, but I looked forward to their discussion of the matter. They did discuss the matter later that evening in just summary fashion, and they got a motion and a second to put it on the agenda for the 21st, which means at the county council meeting on the 21st, that's an action item, and that council can rescind the LERTA that benefits Upper Mount Bethel. Without getting into too much detail, and by the way, the motion was put on the floor by Kelly Keegan and seconded by Mr. Warren. So I would think this is a matter of some great importance to this township, and I would think it's a matter of some great importance to the supervisors of this township, and I would hope that there would be discussion about it and a determination made either individually or as a group to make a statement to the county council on the 21st about how this township feels. I represented that the township supervisors supported the development of a data center in the township, because I remember you all took a vote a year ago saying that very same thing. But I do think this is potentially a retribution against the township for political reasons. I think it's potentially arbitrary and capricious. I think it would be damaging to the economic potential of the township. In full disclosure, and I've said this to people, Nick knows this over time, I personally would like to see the land that's the subject of the development for the data center remain green. But governing isn't often about personal feelings. It's about what's best for the community. And we live in a country that has property rights, constitutionally protected property rights. A private party owns that property, and it's been zoned industrial for some many, many years. So history didn't start yesterday for this township or for me. So I think there's a really important issue that the supervisors need to take a position on, again, either individually or as a group. And I would hope that there would be some show among the supervisors and other township residents at the county council meeting on the 21st. I have to say, with the new composition of the county council, they're off to a really bad start. It is a leftist body. It's got some very leftist people on it. And so, you know, it's something that I think we need to be very aware of. So with that, I will ask if anybody has any questions. I intend to go to make another public statement at that meeting. I'm not endearing myself to the county council, but so be it.
Do any supervisors want to state their opinion on the Florida issue, as the 21st is before the next board meeting?
Not at this time.
They did this before.
Yeah.
Tried to do it a few years ago.
The last time they did it was supposed to be Florida for those warehouses, we did a Florida.
I remember Lamont
tried to pass
came
that,
to our
it didn't
meeting.
pass.
When does the LERTA expire?
I think 27?
27.
Yeah.
2027?
We signed at 27.
So it will,
17.
it will need to be passed again. And I don't, the solicitor may have a view about whether the county's endorsement or not is important or determinative. Is that the case? If they rescind it, it's not active. Is that the case?
I thought all three taxing bodies had to agree, but I have to check again. It's been a while since I checked that.
But I think it would set a bad precedent if they rescind it for any future passage of the LERTA. And I mean, this is Little Upper Mount
No, I
Bethel in the northern
understand.
tier of the county, and our county council is spending their time focused on.
I should be available the Thursday, the 21st, if any other supervisor wants to go. I'm willing to go. I just won't make a statement on behalf of the township unless we're all in agreement. Okay, we'll speak about it.
And I would just like to finish by saying, you know, I made a statement at the last township meeting about statement of principles regarding the community benefit agreement. And I do think it's important that this Board of Supervisors seriously consider making a statement, or maybe
It's on the
we-
agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Moulton.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment?
Yeah. Manny Vidal, Township President and taxpayer. I heard you mention that you guys are gonna go into executive session over 609 Orchard Road.
We had an executive session.
You already had it.
That was May 5th on legal actions. to
Okay,
take
can you report on that, please? And can the comment be given in response to your report?
Ron, would you like to speak on that?
I'm assuming this is the Stein matter?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's also
I
on
have
the,
it by Stein, I don't have it by address.
yeah,
There's a,
he is under new business, for a Stein update.
Okay, so you're going to report on what the executive session was about?
We can talk about it when we get to the.
So you're so you're gonna let us know what's going on?
Yes,
That's the gist of my question.
yes.
And will I be able to address things that you bring up at that time?
There's public comment at the end. We have no
There is public comment at the end, but
Okay.
if it is
Thank you.
pressing.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Anyone else for public comment?
You couldn't see my hand, or maybe you didn't know who was
No,
on.
no, I couldn't.
Okay.
Judy.
Yeah, I'll bypass the thing about the LERTA right now. I just wanted to talk about, both the Stein and then later on you have here about ATVs. And I know that situation where there's ATVs that run up and down a steep slope and erode into the Allegheny Creek. You know, it's unfortunate that we have a lot of residents here that go by the law and understand your right stop where the next ones don't, but there's always people who, for whatever reason, think, I own this, I don't know, I think you just have title, nobody owns the land forever. But it's unfortunate, and I'm glad you're starting to work things out with the Orchard Road thing. But I did want to talk about, and now I'm briefly, I wanted to talk about Action Item Larry Wyman Memorial Statue. Because I think that, and at some point I will get involved and talk more about it, but just quickly, and Dr. Ryman was a resident here for a long, long time. He was actually one of the supervisors back in the 70s when they started working on zoning ordinances. He started the environmental studies discipline at East Stroudsburg University and had so many students that passed through there and went on to get jobs in agencies or other organizations throughout the country. Once in a while they'd have reunions, and they'd come back and say, Doc, you know, we're really happy with what we're doing, but damn, we can't make any money at it. So that's what happens when you want to be a responsible citizen doing a job. So anyway, one of the things that I know that is very important is that he instituted the Osprey Reintroduction Program down along Met Ed, which was also Long Pond. Those were the two sites that were the first ones in Pennsylvania. They were followed not only in Pennsylvania, but around the country, because he was doing programs or papers and things at the Raptor Research Foundation meetings. So with that, there were, and the reason you're doing studies is not only to bring young birds back so they hone into the area and then they come back to nest, but also to get data. So he had two birds he found out by putting color bands on the legs. One male green band had lived 17 years, which people didn't see that. You know, you didn't see it. You had to catch the bird again to get the band. He had another one, which was female with a red band, that was nesting up on that radio tower on the trail by Marshfield. So overall, and I'll quickly, there ended up being 4 osprey nests down on the Met Ed property. And then the one pole that was put in there, when Reliant came here, they came to EAC and what can we do? We said, well, you're going to take away osprey platforms that were part of that program. Can you replace them? And he helped us with getting that decided where to put it. And after the first year, the eagles took over. Of course, then they went to the white pine tree, which is a look too. So I just think that honoring him would be a great thing, because he's got a legacy here of environmental studies.
Thank you, Judy. Is there anyone else for public comment? Fran?
I wasn't going to come up and speak, but since there was talk about the LERTA, do you know what the LERTA is?
Yes.
What?
It's a tax easement for a designated area where the first year they pay 10%, the next year they pay 20%, and it works all the way up for a 10-year span until it gets 100%.
Okay, so why do you want to give it? It's not helping the citizens of Upper Mount Bethel. It seems that the data centers are supposed to be getting a lot of money. Let them use some of that money to help us with our taxes. We don't need the LERTA here. They don't need help to build it. They're making money. I mean, they're making money all over the United States, these data centers. And it's sad to see this happen to our town. And I just wanted to know, let the people know exactly what the LERTA was, because when I came here and they always talked about the LERTA, I didn't know it was a tax incentive. We don't need a tax incentive for a data center.
Thank you, Fran. Is there anyone else for public comment? Ron, I knew you were gonna be up here.
Good evening. I'm familiar with Alerta, and having been a former county councilman, they call themselves commissioners now. I guess that makes you more important. The long and short of it is up in 27. And I think Mr. Baltic is correct. We should take a stand on that, not necessarily for the River Point project, but for anything up this way. What has actually happened is the last election, it was overwhelmingly Democrats that went on county council. And they're bitter about the Dixie Cup project across the street, which would have been 405 apartments, which they said would be low-income apartments. In reality, they're not. And that's what brought this whole thing on about take a shot at River Point. I'm not so sure they even need the Alerta or want it, but I think Mr. Baltic is correct. If we have anybody up here who would want to take advantage of Alerta for a business opportunity, I would hope that they would keep in mind that we are part of Northampton County yet. We haven't succeeded, but I just thought I would let you know that's what brought it on. The Dixie Cup project across the street is what brought it on. And they kind of wanted to take a stand about that. And the other thing is, I wanted to mention what Mr. Baltic had said before about the benefit package. I would suggest, I know I've suggested here before, that it be made up of people in the township here who would have ability. We have a great many people here who have the ability to negotiate. But as I understand it right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, we paid $5,000 to the gentleman to negotiate. What has he negotiated?
That was a previous engagement. We have not renewed or wrote any new contract for any.
And that's great, I appreciate that. So you'll never know what he negotiated for $5,000, would you?
I have not seen any work from him.
Well, I don't want to go much further, but I would merely say that I was wondering who he was negotiating for. But now let me move on. Why could we not have 3 or 4 people in the township who would be looking out for the township? The township wasn't being looked out for with the guy for $5,000, quite frankly. I don't want to go into detail, but he was not looking out for the township. But I think if we have people, and I've mentioned some names, I'm sure none of you love me, so that's okay, but Mr. Baltic would be a possibility. We have people who are CPAs. You know, we have loads of people in this township who could negotiate at no charge and truly negotiate for the citizens of Upper Mount Bethel Township. So I wish you would consider that, because I think that is a much better way to go. And I had one other thing, but I've got 1 second left. The other public comment, I'm waiting to hear about the earlier lawsuit that you were looking into, whether it could be revived. Thank you for the opportunity.
And just so that everyone's aware, there is public comment at the end, if anyone wants to speak on any matter that has been brought up. Is there anyone else for public comment? Okay, not seeing anyone? We can move on to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda are the May 8th special meeting minutes. April 8th special meeting minutes, the April 13th special meeting minutes, April 27th workshop meeting minutes, and the exonerations and refunds. If there's any supervisor that would like to pull out anything, please say so now, or can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, financials, bill list, Mr. Graziano.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the general fund, we spent $117,739.76. Interim bills for the general fund were $74,968.39. The rec fund, interim bills was $14,213.24. Fire tax account was $76.69. EIT open space fund, $570. The Lilio minor subdivision is $1,070.25, for a total of $208,638.33, Mr. Chair. Can we get a motion to pay the bills?
Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, state by
Aye.
saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Bills are paid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Action item. Oh, executive session, I'm sorry about that. We're gonna take a brief executive session. The time now is 7:30. Oh, the matter being discussed,
Yes, contract.
contracts, or
Contract.
personnel, or just
Just
contract?
contract.
Personnel contract. The time is 7:42. We discussed about, contract about, regarding personnel, contract clarification. Does any supervisor would like to make a motion out of executive session? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to action items. Resolution 2026-11, Victoria Parks Gold Star Award. So the township has created a resolution recognizing Victoria Parks, who has achieved the Gold Star Award in Girl Scouts. This is the equivalent to the Eagle Scout rank in Boy Scouts, which we often give resolutions, and I think it also pertains here. Victoria's project is focused on building wooden doghouse donation boxes and placing them in local businesses. The doghouse donation boxes collected supplies such as pet foods, toys, blankets for nearby animal shelters. It brought awareness and to the needs of homeless animals. Being an Eagle Scout myself, I know that to hit these higher ranks and higher awards within this, each organization takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of dedication, and it takes bringing many people from the community together to achieve whatever goals you set. So I'd be honored to present or hear a motion for resolution 2026-11.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is preserve permit bills. Mr. Graziano.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I wanted to get this on the agenda simply because everyone knows about the preserve. The board has already approved to do the study for the preserve. And out of the study from, it was with Carroll Engineering and Simone Collins and the surveyors. That's coming to a close, so now we have to do the permitting. The permitting wasn't part of that contract, we didn't know the cost of those permits, so I wanted to put that on the separate line item, simply because it came late, and I wanted to explain it to the board. So everyone has it in their docket. The filing fee is $1,500 payable to NCCD for Clean Water Fund. There's a service fee for $21,775 payable to NCCD. And there's a disturbing acreage fee of $2,100 payable to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for the Clean Water Fund. So those three items that we have to pay for is part of the project at the preserve. I know Mr. Earl mentioned at the bottom the filtration testing. I will speak with Carolyn Clements. She's the project manager for that, and I'll get a definitive answer of if there is, because there's no mention of cost. What's the savings if we do it and if the contractor does it? I'll find that out for the board, and I'll email everybody. But I do need an approval for, the total is $25,375 for the permitting for the preserve.
Mr. Boyle, are you aware of the stipulation at the bottom, the infiltration testing, whether the township does it? My question to Mr. Graziano was whether this will reduce the rate of any of the fees, or is this?
Reduce the rate of any of the fees? No. Not the fees you're paying to the conservation district, no.
Okay.
It looks like that's a reduction if the township provides a backhoe.
Right.
And,
And I asked, Carol should provide that,
Yeah, yeah.
she can reach back out. Yeah, it doesn't impact the fees you're paying
Right.
tonight, but it could reduce your fee, your payment on what the infiltration test is gonna cost, yeah.
Coming out of the open space.
Yeah, this money's all coming out of the open space fund.
Okay. Is there a motion on the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we pay $25,375 for the fees outlined by Mr. Graziano for the reserve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the reserve permit bills. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded. Any further discussion?
Move it along.
All those in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Graziano, you are up again with Dr. Raymond's memorial statue.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I appreciate the thing you said about Mr. Raymond. I couldn't say it better, she knows him better than I do. But I wanted to bring this out into the public and to get the board, I think it should be voted on that we put the Osprey statue that they wanted, she wants to put it on, in front of the flag at the park, at the base. But she did discuss, I did mention to her about that we have a preserve, and she did visit the preserve, and I thought it would be a great spot to have it up at top of the lookout.
When you say she, you're
To
talking
the
about
left.
Stephanie Steele?
No, Holly Reagan. Stephanie Steele just recommended her to contact us from Portland, if everybody doesn't know who Stephanie Steele, she's the Portland president of the council. But she recommended Holly get in touch with us. She thought it would be better for the statue to be at our park, which I think is a great idea. We already spoke about it, you guys were okay with it. Park and Rec, we spoke about it, and everybody's excited about it. It's a beautiful statue. She wants to have a ceremony on August 22nd to see if that was okay, but she also wanted to place it at the base. And I would,
The base of the flag.
yes, correct. But I would suggest that would be a temporary stay. Maybe later on, if she wants to keep it then and make it a permanent, but to give her the option to be able to move it, if we want to move it in the future, once the preserve is done, that maybe she would want to move it. She did suggest that to me. But I just wanted to put it on record, so if anybody in the future that came back 10 years from now, want to know how did that happen, well, it's in the minutes.
Okay, so you'd like a motion for us to,
Do a temporary positioning of the statue at the park, at the Potomac Park.
okay?
When you say, excuse me, when you say temporary, is it gonna be anchored in any way, so it doesn't end up in a scrap pile someplace?
Well, she's gonna do the place, and she's gonna make all the arrangements, Dave, so I could find out from her what, as we get closer. But she did mention that the preserve will be a beautiful spot for it as well. But she has I guess the statue is finished, and she wants to have this event on the 22nd at the pavilion. I've asked Sharon, or she's in control of the pavilion reservations for, and I haven't got, she hasn't got back to me, but I will speak to her. If not, I'll see her Thursday. So basically, I would say temporary, yes, because if she wanted to move it, not a permanent, it's not a permanent stay. But it may possibly be, I don't know, Dave.
I just think that the temporary refers to its placement at the park until it's on the preserve. My concern is, anchoring the thing so it doesn't get legs.
Yeah, well, I
If it's
think
a
it's
nice
heavy,
statue,
but,
yeah,
yeah. And then again, it's up to her, she's gonna do the placement. She hasn't asked for any of our help with it, which we were more than happy to help her. But she's asked that she wants to invite people from the community. They're gonna have food, hot dogs and things like that. And then there's gonna be an event at Richmond Brewery for everyone to come for lunch. So she's expecting to have 50 to 80 people of our own people, so.
okay. Is this something that we should be putting on our Facebook once the
Yeah,
details
I'll
get
speak to
ironed
her,
out?
when it gets closer to it, absolutely.
He you said that you.
I just wanna get it into the minutes, I really like to see that, because, again, like I said, how did that get there? Well, we're talking about it in an official capacity and have it in the minutes. If you don't wanna make a motion, we were talking about.
Yeah, no township, money is being spent.
No.
Advise
She's doing
you just
everything.
to pursue the statute.
Yeah, it's fine, whatever,
Okay,
just so it's discussed at one of our meetings.
okay.
All right?
Next on action item is the IT contract. Our IT contract is set to expire the 22nd day of May. So, I was informed that we should have a motion to renew or not.
Next, we have the proposed contract in front of us. So we know we're voting on.
Well, we can't table it because we don't have the next meeting.
Well, you can certainly make a motion to renew on the same terms and conditions. If that's not acceptable, then it's not acceptable, but you don't necessarily need to see the contract. You're renewing it on the same terms and conditions. I assume that's what you're doing.
I've heard no changes.
Same amount?
Yeah, everything would be the same.
Right.
The hourly rate, I do believe that the hourly rate was increased during our reorg, if I'm correct.
We took Stavros?
Yeah,
It was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
during the reorg, or the renewal of the contract?
That was prior to the renewal at the end of the year. Or as part of the renewal.
Okay, would any supervisor like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we go ahead and renew the contract.
So the motion is to renew the contract. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded. Going to discussion. Okay, without further discussion, all those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. So that's 3-1. Motion passes to renew. Going on to new business, the Tom Nelson ATV, I believe that was requested to be tabled.
Yes.
Can we have a motion to table?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tom Nelson ATV is tabled. The Stein update, which seems like everyone is chomping at the bit to hear.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna go to our solicitor, Karasak.
Thank you. We discussed in executive session the Stein case, and we reminded all of us that there is a June bench trial in Northampton County, and that deals with the earlier issues with this matter, dealing with the burning, the disposal of construction waste and debris on the site, failing to clean up the site, and things of that nature. So that is what's on for the June bench trial. Now, apparently there have been recent issues that have occurred, and I am told that the township zoning officer issued an enforcement or a violation letter on May 4, and then issued an enforcement notice. I'm not sure of that date. I've not been provided with copies of those from her. I think I might have been given copies through internally. But be that as it may, Mr. Stein, if he received an enforcement notice and was served, has whatever time limit is in that notice to take an appeal to the zoning hearing board. The zoning hearing board, if he appealed, would then hold a hearing to determine whether or not he's in violation of various ordinances. Of course, that's a public hearing, so people from the public can attend, they can give public comment, and they can then also be in favor of or against the project. And if no appeal, and then the zoning hearing board makes a decision. and that decision can be appealed to the county court in Easton. If he has not filed an appeal to that enforcement notice, then he is conclusively presumed to be in violation, and upon direction from the supervisors, I could then prepare another injunction to be filed in Northampton County Court to enjoin him from doing any actions with respect to the issues that were raised in the zoning ordinance. So that's where we are at this point. I would imagine we're waiting for him to appeal, although I don't have that enforcement letter in front of me, so I don't know when that time limit expires.
And was hit with a cease and desist as well as a violation, or?
Well, again, I don't use cease and desist, that's old-time language, it's an enforcement notice. That's what he has to be served with. And I'm assuming he was served with an enforcement notice and has a deadline for him to appeal to the zoning hearing board.
Mr. Graziano, was the driveway issue also addressed?
Yes, that was a letter sent by our engineer. That was sent on April 29th. We have the receipts of the certified receipts.
Maybe Mrs. Crowe can elaborate on the driveway issue.
They were received on April 30th by both parties.
Let me.
And I could just add, Ron?
I'll just add one other thing, that I know that DEP, through Attorney Stoll, S-T-U-L-L, and other individuals are attempting to arrange a site visit within the next week or two, and emails have gone back and forth, trying to get everybody scheduled together. But that also is scheduled. We're going to be scheduled for a visit to determine what has been going on since the last time we were there. Because apparently, at least it appears, the burning issue has been resolved, but there's other issues that are now either still hanging out there, which is cleaning up and getting the property in shape, and now also doing some additional things, so.
Just to follow up, Ron, the violation notice was on May 4th.
Okay.
So that's 30 days.
Does it have a date in it, though? Does it say a date in it?
It says 30 days from the receipt of this letter.
Okay, so let's assume that he got it 3 days after the date of the letter, which would be then 5/6 or 5/7. So he still has a couple of weeks yet to file his appeal. And he may file it at the very last day, which is perfectly legal, and sometimes that occurs. So if he doesn't do that, then as I said, assuming that is an enforcement notice, he will now be conclusively presumed to be in violation, and I could then proceed with another injunction if authorized by the board.
Was the driveway considered part of the zoning, or is that part of something else, huh?
Well, I think it's both. I mean, you've got some land use issues with the driveway because you're doing some improvement, but you also have zoning issues in the sense that the zoning statute says that you have to make sure you have adequate site distance and this and that, et cetera. So it could be a combination of both.
Mr. Coyle, would you like to speak to this, since
Sure.
our zoning is not here?
Yeah, that's fine. We were asked to look at the situation. They have installed basically an unpermitted driveway at this time. There are issues with site distance with the driveway. We also got a letter from Lindsay Lananzi about the site distance concerns as well. Based upon the disturbance out on the site, it looks like he may need a permit from DEP, an NPDES permit, since over an acre of disturbance is more than likely occurring. So per our letter, we asked him basically to file for a driveway permit application. There's no guarantee the driveway is going to be approved based upon the site distance concerns that I mentioned. And then he's going to have to follow up with a grading plan based upon what he's proposing to do. I had heard possibly some type of greenhouse or some type of structure. So he's driveway permit, grading permit, and potentially an NPDES permit from DEP and the Conservation District, so.
Would that be because he moved more than an acre?
Correct, or disturbed more than an acre, yes. So, yeah, he's got many issues to deal with.
Just so the folks know, we're on top of this, we're working on it. You saw how long it took us to resolve the burning issue.
Which has not been resolved yet. It's not resolved.
All right, I stand corrected, it's not resolved, but we did work on it.
Oh, yeah, I understand you're working on it, but that was last year. That was last year. I have it on good authority that the AG wanted to prosecute this
Sir,
case.
sir, can you
On the
please step
state
up to the
level.
mic if you're gonna be speaking?
Right, Manny Vidal.
Yes.
I'm a taxpayer. The guy next door is not. Doesn't own the property. He's changing everything over there. And you guys aren't, what do you do? Oh, we're on it. We're working on it.
We did call an executive session.
I understand that.
Just to make sure that we were.
I got home 5 weeks ago from Florida, and I saw my fence line bulldozed. The next day, I was on the phone with Mr. Graziano.
So he took down your fence line?
No, he didn't take down my fence line, it's his fence. He bulldozed his side of the fence line. All of the trees, all of the bushes. I get home, it's a surprise. What's going on here? And for the next 5 weeks, hundreds of dump trucks were dumping dirt there. And he was bulldozing them. Hundreds. There are other people here that can attest to that. And nothing was being done. He basically raised the property behind the house there, which he does not own. And from what I understand, he's not even supposed to be on the property.
No,
Well, he's there every day. And he's been there every day since last summer. He was on the lease. Zeppeth made him give up the lease, and then his mother took over the lease, and guess what? Her little boy is still there, doing all of this stuff. You know who this guy is, you know his reputation, and you don't do anything about it. Or excuse me, it takes you months to do something about it. This is disgusting.
I understand your frustration. It is the process that we need to go through. We need to
I was a
get-
Boy Scout too, by the way.
We need to
Just
get
so you know.
violation letters.
Yeah,
These
right.
Violation letters. we
And
need
how
to
long
get
is this gonna take?
Time.
He's gonna keep working there. He's gonna keep working. He doesn't care what you tell him. He's got 25 years of history between Gravel Hill Road and this property. He's not even supposed to be on the property, and he's doing all of this stuff. And nobody does anything about it.
Mr. Vidal, I see your frustration. It's evident.
I moved to
know
Mount
that-
Bethel
I
because
know
it was
you
a
have-
nice, quiet
You have your
community.
neighbors here as well that.
I thought I had a
that
cornfield
vary
next to
from
me,
frustration.
instead of a bulldozing operation. How much do you guys know about this guy? Do you know about his financiers from New York? Do you know about that? He has financiers to put up these 11 greenhouses, 34 by 300 feet. Okay? He's going to put in water tanks on that plateau that he built there. He's going to put up 2 custom-made furnaces, wood-burning furnaces. What was he in trouble for last time? Burning.
Mr. Vidal.
There are trucks on that property
Sir.
from,
If he plans to do, any building and he doesn't have the permits, this town will continue to seek action against him.
he didn't have any permits to do what he did.
And right now, we're seeking action against.
Too late. Is he gonna have to put it back the way it was?
I believe so, or else we can fine him, a certain amount per
I
day.
guess time will tell. Time will tell.
This is a matter that this board is not taking lightly, that this township is not taking lightly. Unfortunately, we do have to.
He hasn't been prosecuted for what he did last year. It's been more than a year. It's supposed to be a hearing in July. What's going on here? You guys have no teeth, you know
The
that?
hearing he just
You
said
have
is
no
due.
teeth. I'm not going away.
I understand. Is there anything else to be said on the Stein issue?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Marie Ricker. I live on 673 Yorkshire Road. Also a neighbor. And I think the main question I have now, and I hope you can answer this, is that area zoned commercial for a business, or is it agricultural? Are you allowed to put greenhouses up and sell product on Orchard Road?
Nick? Can you
As
speak to
far as
that?
I know, it's residential ag.
But what does that mean? Does that mean you can put a,
I'm not a zoning officer, but I know he has to throw out permits for, and if there's any kind of variance, he has to go to the zoning.
but I
board.
asked almost same question, and nobody knew the answer. Either it is commercial, or it's not.
It's not commercial, it's residential.
Residential.
Ag,
So
so you
he-
can farm it.
You can farm it,
Right.
so can he go for a variance to open a business?
Sure, you can go for a variance, and everybody will be invited to that variance.
But is that something that you could approve?
Well, that's up to the
No,
zoning.
that would be zoning.
The zoning.
The zoning would approve.
hearing
And the zoning
board.
officer's not here, correct?
She's not here now.
No, it would be, it would go to the zoning board, not the zoning officer.
But we have not received any permits for anything. And I know we've discussed
I know-
this.
I know
We've
that. I
discussed
do.
this.
I realize
Jonathan Fox from NCCP in the district, Dave Freeman was there, I was there, I spoke to you about that, I spoke to Manny about everybody. He has moved more than an acre of land, and I have not seen a report yet, okay?
Okay.
We don't control them, they work for the DEP, I have not spoken with Amy Fauch in a week. We had a glitch with our emails and stuff, so I'm getting a little slow. I keep calling her, but I'm glad that our solicitor has spoken with Stoll, which is their attorney. And I have spoken with Zeppeth, so the other thing too is you keep saying Stein, but Zeppeth is the one that's getting all these letters as well. And he's confirmed that he has them. His lawyer was away, and I've spoken to him, and I'm not gonna say, my personal conversations with him. There's movement on his end, which we want, of course, but it's not just Stein, it's Zeppeth is the one who owns that property. And we all know that Stein is not supposed to be there, and he knows that. But off record, maybe if I could talk to you about it, that's
And
fine.
like I said, my question was, is it agriculture?
It's definitely ag,
Agriculture.
all right, it is, there's another farmer that's doing it, not him,
Mhm.
okay? And he's allowed to farm, and he has an
That's
agreement
been
with.
for 40 years that I've been there, I'm aware of
Right,
that.
right, yes.
But I'm
But
concerned
he's
whether
allowed
they
to
could.
farm it, but selling something and doing commercial activities on there, you know, there's a little gray area where, you know, farmers can sell their products. That's about it, a little stand, as you see on 611, there's a stand in front of Jesse Poliskowitz's house.
Right.
He sells his products, and stuff like that, that's okay, but once you start selling and bringing people onto your property and buying and selling something other than agricultural, then that's a commercial, becomes a commercial entity, and then you have to go in front of the, well, not this board, the zoning board for variance, and everybody would be from that area, I believe it's 500 feet, that when we get the letter, that will be invited to that hearing, you know, obviously to show you disapproval of it. But it is not a commercial property, it is an ag, residential property.
Okay, I don't think any action can be taken at this time that we are not currently pursuing. So on to the next item, which is the CBA guidelines. I put this onto the agenda because Mr. Baltic at our last meeting gave a letter, and we're talking about the CBA. That's gonna be one of the main points for the chairs to the table, to get the ideas of where this township really wants to be in the next 30 years and the tools that we need to get there, and try and put as much positive things into any CBA, no matter what development would come into that area. We have not yet negotiated the price or anything of the CBA, so we're really just trying to get good ideas. And I thought that if the supervisors had anything or wanted to make any suggestions towards what should really govern the guidelines of the CBA. Mr. Albert was not at the last one, so prior to this meeting, we made a copy of it. It's unfortunate John isn't here. I think that he would have some great input, Mr. Birmingham. Unfortunately, this would kind of go with the chairs to the table, like I just said. So I'd like to have any supervisor, if you want to put any input in, now would be a great time. I'll go first. I'd like to see the longevity of anything on the CBA being from 10 to 30 years. A long reach of the township. The bang for the buck, anything that would be multi-use, and benefit multiple aspects of any of our residents, if not all the residents. Reducing or eliminating costs to our tax base. Anything that could be supplemented or eliminated. Things requiring a one-time cost to assure that we can get that benefit when any contract or anything is due. It's not, we wouldn't be relying on anything in the development. I personally like to see the major items first. Large scale to be done early, so that we can see those benefits immediate. Should not be achievable with future tax revenue. We all know that anything going into that development will increase tax revenue, so these are more towards capital expenditures that will be extremely hard for the township to be doable without taking out a grant or a bond. Not to have any effect on township obligations. And the township will continue to do anything and to be responsible for its residents. To add nothing to the future cost to maintain. This, I think, was important as we saw the municipal waste, the dump filling up, and they had to vote whether or not to expand the dump. And they saw that financially the township was residing on the municipal waste dump, so they had to allow it to continue. I want to avoid anything like that for this township. The things that were on Mr. Baltic's list, I agreed with some not so much. That's why I kind of wanted to put it towards the supervisors to see if they would like to input anything.
I think it would be nice if all the supervisors actually got to meet with in some of these meetings before we even discuss, because some of us haven't even met with any of them.
Three of us haven't met.
And only two people have that, only two.
Right, so before we even throw ideas out, and I'm not gonna make a laundry list long, but see what they even wanna bring to the table. I mean, again, we do it all the time, the cart's going before the horse, I say this all the time. There's no end user. There's nothing yet. That I'm aware of, because I've not been in the meetings. We know what they could be going for and trying to, you know, highlight what they wanna do with the property, but again, there's no dry ink, you know, let's get meetings set up, you know. Unfortunately, I work 6 days a week right now. I do not have the type of job that I can be like, I'll be back, guys, see you in a little bit. So, they obviously are knocking at the door to come in. We've had a merger with the developer. Maybe they'd be willing to do a 7 o'clock at night. We unlock the building. We have, you know, asked Nick to join, so we're not down here. Everything knows it's being discussed. I've mentioned before that I think they should all be recorded, not sent out in an email for us to watch, but come down here and watch them, you know, so we can actually see. But to sit here and make a laundry list of what we all like to see and what residents would like to see, I'm for it, but I don't think, again, we're doing something ahead of schedule before anybody's even met with anybody.
I think just simply putting the guidelines together, this would go to anything, but fully agree, and I think that they would too, that they're now ready to meet. We still haven't negotiated anything with the CBA. This is kind of just in preparation for, because we know that's going to be a discussion. And it should really be a well thought out plan to make sure that we touch upon as many residents and improve the community's entire health in multiple facets. But I think that if you guys want to meet with them, that's fine. Mr. Freeman, I know that you said in a meeting that you didn't want to be a part of negotiations in the future.
No, I said we should have a consultant there, and Lisa Pecker agreed with me. Now, I don't have to be part of negotiations, but I sure like to sit there and see what's going on. No effort has been made to contact the 3 supervisors at this table, none whatsoever. When I was way out there, when Amazon was there, I was retired, I was able to make the meetings. There was a big stink. I was accused of being the chief negotiator and that we were not letting anybody in. Ms. Heckman, were you contacted to sit at the meetings with Amazon?
I was in very briefly while you were outside pacing, and I was not even in the meeting an hour, and you were ready to take my place.
So you were still there, weren't you?
For about 37 minutes.
And how long have you been at these negotiations?
I've not been in any, pretty much like any of the other past ones.
Mr. Albert, were you asked to come to the meetings with Amazon?
No.
No? No. I thought we had contacted you, you weren't able to make it.
Maybe I couldn't make it. I remember being there.
Anyway.
Sure. Mr. Graziano was sitting in on the meetings, and I just want to say one thing before you do. Any of these meetings that took place with myself, Mr. Birmingham, Nick, and Slate Health Holdings, I gave the supervisors a synopsis of the meeting, and I asked either of them if they want to edit anything, add, did I misspeak in any way, you know, was this pretty clear? And we're trying to be as open as possible. We really didn't get to the point of negotiating or anything, we were just, it was an introduction meeting, and then kind of setting up where we wanted to proceed from there. And I'm fully open if you guys want to sit in meetings in my stead. I tried to give you as much information as I could, so Mr. Graziano.
I just want to be, I think we should be fully transparent with our township. And I don't know if Corey and Jason saw the email, but I was copied in an email that was inviting both of you to be introduced to Julie. If you didn't, I could always send it to you, but they did. She responded, nice to meet you, via email.
Yeah, that was Friday.
Yeah. So, and she is willing, and they are willing, they said it to me, they are willing to meet at 7 o'clock, because I told them Corey's situation. They are willing to meet at different hours, whatever time, different venues, wherever we want to meet. And Supervisor Freeman has met Julie personally. So, full disclosure, they have reached out and spoken. She didn't have to come to their meeting, and she did come to them, which we all appreciated, to be fully transparent herself. I know Judy Hunkel was there, and John Birmingham, obviously, Tara Mazzanotti. So, and they had a cordial discussion. We had a cordial discussion. So they're not hiding. They are reaching out to everybody. Unfortunately, the 5 of you can't be in the same room together when you're doing negotiating, when you're talking. That's just the law. That's the rules of Sunshine Law. But I just want to be
Mr. Graziano, the gist of that meeting was while in CBA wasn't discussed.
No, it wasn't discussed, David. You didn't either, so don't say you don't know who they are. I'm just being honest. We're just being honest. Everybody was there, that was there, and she walked in. She did not have to be at that meeting, and she just walked in her own to be at that meeting. I think that's a lot different than what happened before. I'll just say that. But they did reach out. I just want to say, if Corey, you didn't get it, I'll send it to you. Jason, you said you received it.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, so they're willing to meet all of you. So.
But I believe that when we're ready and all the supervisors have met, that they'll eventually do a presentation to the township. which is.
Absolutely.
Which was one of the things that they did say.
They said that at the first meeting,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they just don't wanna get ahead of themselves. There are no plans, there are no issues. Again, the CBA wasn't, we haven't even really started negotiating about it. It's about ensuring that the township puts its best ideas forward, and those don't just come out of thin air. They really need to be analyzed, they need to be scrutinized to ensure that, like, as Mr. Baltic has on here as his last but not least, that something in there should be for our local farmers. That was nothing pertaining to the NID, our past agreement, or the CBA that we put to the consultant. Nothing was in there about farmers. And that's a big oversight, since this township prides itself on its local farming.
I know you're trying to be really clear. I just want to say what Nick's talking about were John and David's office hours.
Right.
You know, when you say meeting, you think it was something, but it was just, yeah, it was just the office hours which were
And
closed.
nobody knew that it was
And
about.
it was
about
out there
the-
to everybody, but hardly anybody came. That's
Right.
what happened.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
So again, I do think that guidelines are good going forward, for anything that would transpire. So if you guys need more time to think about it, I would really like to hear what Mr. Birmingham has to say. I know that he's been pushing for, an ambulance in this community for a long time, and if that can be put into the CBA, then great, any way to facilitate it. But we are going to be within a cost amount. It isn't endless, unfortunately. So we have to make as many things work as possible, given a set amount. Okay. Does any supervisor like to say anything else?
But regardless of the CBA, or the sale, or any end user that comes in there, it's still continuously going to be bringing money into the township with EIT money, with anything like that, so we're always gonna have something to depend on the size of the build out. So even if the CBA is a set umbrella amount, whatever happens moving forward when it is negotiated, I mean, we're not acting as it's the end once that's over. I mean, however many employees there are, well, the township is still going to be getting money from this development.
Absolutely.
So,
That is correct.
The CBA is kind of just like a giant cherry on top
Right.
type of deal. Like, we didn't do a CBA to Ultra Poly, and yet they provide money to the township on their donations.
They had
Was
alerta.
Ultra Poly?
They did have
Uh,
alerta.
So the
Land tax-
land tax,
land
Ultra
tax.
Poly is
Sorry.
involved.
Ultra Poly had alerta.
Had Alerta.
Yes, I'm very familiar with
The
that.
Land Tech is the Post Foundation. They donate the money for the fireworks, which now they doubled it for our 4th of July celebration. So they're a good neighbor. I think that the CBA is, any end users kind of foot in the door to be a good neighbor. So I don't think it's the end, but it's us telling them what would really help our community.
In the other sense, we also have to think that we can prepare and do all we want right now, but they don't have to provide that to us. They don't have
No.
to get us a CBA,
No,
and we
no,
can stop them
they
if
don't.
they do or not.
But if they're good enough ideas.
So I'm just saying, we gotta look at both ends of it.
If they're good enough ideas, maybe the township would be wise to pursue it with or without the CBA.
They came to us.
right, we can make an award-winning CBA and they could.
No other,
fund-
as far as I know, honest in the audience, no other community, company came here and said, I wanna come and give you guys money, they just came, well, I go to the committee. And like you said, Mr. Post, in other ways, they donate a lot of money to the community, and they're good neighbors, and they're good taxpayers, and contributors to our society in our township. But, if I could just segue onto what Corey's talking about, there's gonna be, there's other incomes that are coming in, the EIT will always be there, and also, obviously, real estate taxes that are gonna be huge We're not-
School
we're-
taxes.
I was just gonna say that, the school taxes, the number, this, what Upper Mount Bethel might be taking is burden on our shuttles, but we're doing it for the whole school district. The whole school district will be getting the funds from the school district will be probably seen in tax reduction. I'm not gonna speak for them, but it could. It could, and what is everybody's biggest payment is the school district,
Yeah.
right? And, also, just to let you know, Corey, there is a caveat maybe, in perpetuity that we're trying to add on to that, so that would be something different to protect this community for generations. So.
And one other thing I like that, I like the idea, and I don't care if it's a third party or if it's a committee of residents, we do need some kind of consultant.
Okay. Does any supervisor want to continue using the consultant that we attempted to, use last time, that when the deal fell through? Are you looking more to a resident, or you want a professional consultant?
It's something more we have.
I think we should put something out there that we're accepting applications and maybe vet somebody if we think we need them. We don't, if somebody comes in and there's 5 people that send a letter of interest, doesn't mean we have to accept them. We can lease it that, or we can just keep it in-house.
Okay.
I think we're doing a pretty good job right now, so. And remember, the board needs to, it's just a presentation to the board, and obviously it will be discussed with our community. Just adding my 2 cents as a resident.
Okay, so it seems like the supervisors have really a lot to talk about, and we can put this onto the agenda on, consultant matters.
Did you meet?
Yeah, that would be the next one. June 8th. Okay. Okay. I guess we can move on to, into old business. The Parks Foundation. At our last meeting, Ron changed, what you were saying, that you wanted a forensic audit, then you wanted to reissue the litigation. We asked our solicitor to look into, going that route. So let's first hear about, from Mr. Capson.
All right, as you may remember, the township had filed suit in this matter some time ago. Checking the file, the lawsuit that was filed against the foundation and Mr. Metzger was October 3rd of 2023. On that same day, I filed a petition for discovery in aid of preparation of pleadings, so I could determine what exactly may have occurred over the year before, because in 2002, the foundation changed its name and deleted the word park from it, so now it was a community foundation, no longer Community Park Foundation. And when that occurred in November 9 of 2022, Mr. Keel and others continued to ask for financial information and other documents with respect to the matter. So when I filed suit, I had asked for all corporation bank statements, I've asked for minute books and all corporate records. From 2008 to date, I asked for grant applications, I asked for grant funds used, I asked for any other types of monies used. And it was my hope that we would have a deposition of Mr. Metzger and or others if necessary to try to find out that information. However, on January 12, 2024, at the direction of the Board of Supervisors, I was directed to terminate that lawsuit, which I did. So I was unable to get any of that information. That being said, it's my belief that the statute of limitations is a 2-year statute. I think that's long gone. If we say that we knew in 2022, when we were asking for financial information, et cetera, that we knew maybe something was wrong, that 2-year statute is gone. That would have taken us to 2/24. We're 2 years out of that. If we say, well, we filed a lawsuit in 10/23, so then we knew something was amiss, 2 years after that suit would be 10/20/25, which again, we're outside of that. There could be an argument that perhaps there's a 4-year statute of limitations if a contract was breached. I think it's a stretch to say contract was breached with respect to this. This is more a breach of corporate duties and or corporate obligations. So I think the 2-year statutes applies, and I would not recommend proceeding further with any lawsuit.
Okay, Ron, go ahead.
My counsel, Bernie O'Hare, looked this up, and I agree with our learned solicitor, the statute of limitations is up. And ironic, there's only one person sitting on the board now who made that vote to drop the whole thing. How ironic it was. But I still do believe that we can have a forensic accountant, and I can assure you that there was 4 votes for it, and if something changes, I will be delivering to Mr. Graziano very shortly the $10,000 to begin. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say, and the cat does need to be skinned here. Anything to say, Mr. Freeman?
I'll say it when you're done.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure you didn't have anything to say. So, we'll take care of it. You already took the vote, so I'll deliver the check to Mr. Graziano.
Can that still be done, Ron?
We
Forensic?
voted on that.
Well, yeah, no, that wouldn't be out. So if we go back to what we said yes for, then we can proceed with the forensic.
I'm not quite sure if you can do that also, but I haven't gone to that next step. And you know, I would have to go back and look at the paperwork, et cetera, because a forensic audit, you have to have standing to request that audit. And the question is, do we as citizens have standing? Do you as Board of Supervisors have standing to request that audit? And I'd have to double check that. I mean, I kind of think you do, but I can't say that without checking to be certain.
Well, we had standing up until November 9th of 2022, when they changed the name of the bylaws, saying that we couldn't see the financial information.
Yeah, but again, now that's, 2022. I mean, you're gonna ask for a forensic audit, they may say sue us, and statutes go on. Again, 2-year statute dealing with fiduciary obligations, fiduciary duties, et cetera. But again, Mr. Engel, and I say this sincerely, is no slouch. He's aware of certain things. We also may have other lawyers we can talk to and see where we are, but right now I can't say absolutely that can be done.
Can you please take the next step to do the research?
Yes, I'll do that.
Make sure that we are legally covered?
But again, the township originally gave $10,000. So that's $10,000 of taxpayer money. Yes, they took in grants and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I do believe you have standing because it was township money. But you have a learned solicitor, I always am willing to listen to his opinions. But unless he says otherwise, I will deliver you the $10,000 for the forensic audit.
Thank you.
And we can finally find out what did happen. But doesn't it wonder you at least a little bit here, the mystery of all at once, 2 members of the board came on differently. In other words, there's only one member here was on by
I don't want to go down
No,
to
I
speculation
understand.
or anything like this.
And the long and short of it was, there was problems, but They didn't want to address the problems, so they dropped the lawsuit. That's
Okay.
what happened. There's no question what happened here. I've been around here a long time. I followed the ball fairly good through the years.
Thank you. Would any supervisor like to speak?
Now, in the first place, the Attorney General looked at this and found nothing. Do you think the Attorney General would have made that statement if he hadn't thoroughly investigated this himself?
When I read the statement, it said at the end of it that there was a lack of information given.
Then why did he
That was
pursue
at the
it?
bottom of it.
If he thought there was something, he would have probably pursued it, which he didn't.
I raised the same question, and if the townspeople really want to know the answer, the forensic audit would get any information that he might have forgot to provide to the Attorney General.
Beating a dead horse here. And as far as for the $10,000 audit, I think the $10,000 could be put to better use. If you're so concerned about this township, why don't you take that $10,000 to start a fund, and you can apply that to instances that could come up in the township. Could have put that money towards the dugouts. You could donated that money towards the wolf pack and the canteen who looked for that little child. In October, Tower Engineering is putting on a program to buy a gazebo. Why don't you put that money to good use instead of beating a dead horse?
Well, he did speculate that any money that would be above
Goes to the park.
amount for the audit would go to the park.
And there's nothing there. You were given, every supervisor was given an opportunity to look at his checking account. There was nothing there.
A moment ago, I asked you, Mr. Friedman, did you have anything to say? You presume because I went back here, I would be silent. It's not that simple. I'm back here. Isn't it ironic? You were amongst the voters who voted to drop the whole thing to never get the answer. But isn't it ironic? You want to say to me, why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? Why did you vote to drop it?
Because there was nothing there.
Yeah, there was nothing there. There was nothing you and some of the supervisors back then wanted to see, quite frankly. That's what it was all about. Yeah. Anything else to say?
No, if
before
you're
I
done
sit down?
showboating, you can sit down. Thank you.
You're the showboating about donating money to the park. I'm not
Sir,
showboating.
thank you.
I'm giving facts.
Mr. Pinter.
The facts is you voted with
The
the other
board
people to drop the
recognizes
suit. No question about what happened.
As a past supervisor and having dealing with this,
So, Marty Pinner, taxpayer,
this should be the last.
39 Lindsay Lane. As Ron alluded to, I was on the board that started the lawsuit because we wanted to know and we wanted an audited trail of at least the donations that were given to the town to start the foundation. Okay. The only bank accounts that were given for the auditor to look at or the lawyer to look at was the current one at that time. Okay? There were 3 bank accounts associated with that foundation. 2 of them, the other 2, were not audited. That's the discovery that we were asking Ron to go get, were those 2 other bank accounts. So, very well, they could have not found anything in one of the financials that were given on one bank account, but there were 2 others that were delinquent, that were never given. That was that was the basis of the lawsuit, was to get the discovery for those 2 other accounts.
Okay, so I believe this matter, we're gonna have to wait for the solicitor to do a little bit more research and find out the proper means to do an audit. If the money is deposited, then we can start that process.
It will be deposited shortly.
Wonderful.
Well, should let Ron see first.
Okay, so let's go on to the second public comment, which Marty kind of started off for us. Is there anyone else that has a public comment? Yes, Frank.
Go ahead.
I'm next.
At the EAC meeting that I attended last week, I believe, you said you would give us the information from the last, in the CBI, things that people have put on their wish list. So we can go through and not duplicate what's on that list and spend a lot more time hashing around at that meeting that's coming up the 18th. So
I haven't gotten the list, that we gave to the consultant.
But we had done a list in.
I have the list from the first chairs
Yeah, well-
to the table.
Well, that you could send us then, because that would, you said, would relate to the ongoing stuff.
Okay.
At least we'll have something to look up so that we can use our minds to see what other things, instead of rehashing the same thing that might have been on the.
Or
other
perhaps
one.
something that was on there is no longer viable,
Right,
or?
right.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anyone else? Judy?
Yeah, give me a minute. Not to beat a dead horse, but my God, I am tired of hearing about the foundation. Okay? Along with Ron, I was there when the foundation was formed, went to a few meetings, a small, very small group of people trying to do the best they could when our park was just really, nothing was up there yet. I mean, they were just trying to start, and we were getting grants from the county and everything else to do things. And I don't know how much the township gave, I don't think much, but they went out and got, monies for different things. But I remember in the beginning, and I shouldn't say this, and I'm not under oath, but their treasurer was not really good at bookkeeping. I don't really think this is something nefarious that somebody absconded with a whole bunch of money. They just weren't keeping good records, and not much money was coming in. They were
I believe that
basically
this
scrounging.
applies to when they were set up, the bylaws that were that if the township ceded the account, the foundation, that we would have open access to their books. When the board asked for open access, what happened is they changed their name and they changed the bylaws to not allow that anymore.
So are we talking about money? Do you think there's a whole lot of money you're gonna get from this? Like Dave said, just donate that 10,000. Or are we after character assassination? Are we after different people in the township that we don't like? Or is it more about the NID and who gets to vote on those 2 votes that the township was, I thought in the beginning the Park Foundation was 1. So what's the ultimate goal here of the people who keep coming up here and making us crazy and wasting our time going over and over on things?
I think it's more on accountability, that if someone's
Really?
gonna donate to a facet of the town in any means, that the township will be responsible for that.
And that's fine.
And that's how the Park Foundation was originally set up.
I agree with that.
That we would have transparency,
And I
and
really
then it
think
changed.
Mr. Metzger came in and tried to set it straight. I don't think he knew how complicated and what a mess things were before.
I'm
So
still
I-
confused how Mr. Metzger became the chairman of the board that was dissolved.
Nobody else wanted it. People left, people died.
The township dissolved the foundation.
Okay, then I have to go back and find out with him, but I'm still asking, what is the ultimate goal here? Are we trying to recoup money?
Accountability, one word.
Oh, accountability. Honest to God, I'm sick of the just hypocrisy in this township. That people get labeled for being awful from the people who are actually doing the deed.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Mr. Finan, he had his hand up first.
Chris Finan, I am a resident. Please, please, please do not use that last consultant you guys used for the township. He steered me and the people of this township in the wrong direction. I was a part of it with the fire departments, and he told us ask for every little thing we need, and Nick could attest to this. I said, I'm worried this is going to make us look greedy and it's going to be bad for the township. And he said, absolutely not. You ask for everything you need right up front. Give me all your numbers. And he steered me wrong and us wrong.
I set that meeting up. I was there. I was shocked when he said that meeting.
So it's, I feel he made me look bad, even though the people don't know about it, but, just in the negotiation things. So please do not use him again. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Well
No.
put.
Why would you even consider using him?
Mr. Baldwin.
I just am following up on Nick's discussion of the memorial statue for Larry Ryman, which sounds like a very good gesture and purpose. And it just occurred to me, and I'm just throwing this out there, that it might be nice if the township thought about commemorating the semi-quincentennial, which is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, in some way. So maybe that could be a commemorative plaque that would be at the park or at the flagpole, not something elaborate. But if the township were interested in doing that and express that through the supervisors, I'd be willing to head an effort to try and get contributions to fund that for the township. So I put that out there. I think it would be a nice gesture. This is a wonderful country, and I think if we could commemorate our founding, it would be a nice gesture for our township.
Corey, as a Park and Rec liaison, do you think that that's something that they would be interested in having?
Yeah, we have a meeting this week, so I could definitely bring it up.
Okay, good. Anyone else for public comment? Ron? I'm gonna get you a hat that says the last word.
I'm still Ron Angle. And somebody gave me the bunt back there, but I'm gonna go for the hit and run. The long and short of it is there never was the accountability. And as Mr. Pinter said, when there was gonna be an accountability, two supervisors then said, woo, let's drop the suit. Why do they wanna drop the suit? And they can use this Attorney General thing, that's filler in the whole situation. That didn't mean anything, actually, quite frankly. But this benefit package agreement, and you said a lot of things here, Mr. Erner, which were very appropriate for this whole thing, is to say yes to an ambulance. It sounds good, people want to hear an ambulance. But the reality is, as you had said, the ambulance would have to be able to be supported beyond the community benefits agreement. So right now, what I can see, for instance, is 2 ambulances, a building, and trained personnel. You're dealing with an enormous amount of money. But again, certain supervisors like to sell these pie-in-the-sky things. But unless this benefit agreement thing is done properly, what should be the benefits for the long haul, not next year or make your friends happy, the long haul, that benefit agreement thing could make things a lot better for the people in Upper Mount Bethel Township if it's done properly. And I do believe, as far as getting the crew from before, don't even go there. You have people right here. The supervisor should come up with a list, what you think your priorities are, give it to these people, whoever's going to be on the committee, and let them look at it, and then come back to you with what they think. You'd have the end decision what to make, but it needs to be done properly. If it's not done properly, for instance, the school will probably get millions of dollars. They already know what they're going to do with their millions of dollars. They're either going to try to train the people to work in the data center at the school, or they're going to go in conjunction with either VOTEC or the community college to train the people to work at the VOTEC. They'll know what to do with their money, quite frankly. But right now, there needs to be answers about this benefit package very, very shortly. I mean, Talon is looking for some answers here, and they're not getting any answers. And it can't be 1 or 2 people once in a while to meet. And I understand, people have jobs. That's why I'm thinking, out here you could get people like myself or Mr. Baltic or anybody, there's all kind of people here who are available pretty much semi-retired or whatever, that could spend the time that needs to be spent on this. And like the fire chief said, again, one of the members of the Board of Supervisors wanted them to have anything and everything they wanted. That's not the answer for them either. Whatever is done for them has to be able to help them do a better job and be a permanent thing that's done, that as time goes on, it will still stay in place. And craziness is not going to be the answer to that stuff. But again, that benefit package is meant to be to make the township here a better place for many years to come. And part of it could be the park, part of it could be the fire, part of it could be many things. But it needs to be done right.
I want to say that I have been going to a lot of the committee meetings, as I have for the last couple of years, and they already started to speculate some very good ideas to be brought up at the chairs to the table meeting that are long-term, renewable kind of effects. So I hope you can make that meeting, and your expertise might be warranted in the public comment.
But that doesn't solve the end result of the benefit package and how it's administered. It just doesn't. And just one short thing in closing. Ms. Hinkle had said about why does there need to be accountability? There was never accountability with the funds from concerned citizens, which was a private entity. But there was a member here in the audience who told me and a witness one time outside, money and checks came in and it was given to Mrs. Hinkle. She had the accounting for the money. The foundation needs to be,
Thank you,
the
Mr.
foundation needs to be what it is.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll make a
Randall.
motion to adjourn.
Well, you're gonna need to take your friend here.
I do think that
Third
accountability,
party-
especially
third-party
if
non-official
we get the
referee.
ability
That's what
for
I'm asking.
CBA, accountability will be extremely important in facilitating anything that comes out of it. So with that, a motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Foundation.
Meeting is adjourned.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.